Hello everyone, my name is Sheffrey and welcome back for episode 43 of the Satisfactory series here on YouTube. In this video we go full pop rock band and tap into radioactive materials. Finishing up our fuel rods for nuclear power, it's time to add in all the remaining parts, including a bonus layout of the 40 power plants to be hooked up in a future episode. Syncing things for now keeps it running at 100% efficiency. Thank you for all the support and help with the series so far. Let's get to playing games. Alright, we got another big day. Another big building day. We are finally, we're getting radioactive today. So we'll finally be finishing this layout up. And if we have time at the end, maybe we'll throw down the nuclear power plants as well. We won't be firing them up just yet. We still have a couple more parts to do after this episode to actually have it be 100% efficient, like being able to recycle the waste that's going to come out of them. So we're getting much closer. Like I said previously, it's gonna take me quite a few parts to get done. Nuclear is quite a bit of work. I can now see why most people just stick to doing big turbo fuel builds, which I think I'm still gonna try out in the future. So make sure you stay tuned for that. But today I've got our little to-do list on the side. We've got Caterium miners and refiners, quartz miners and constructors, fused quickwire assemblers, sulfur and uranium miners, which I'll touch on in just a moment here. Uranium drone, because I need to be able to send it. There's many ways you can send it around if you want. If you don't need to send it, that's fine. You skip that step. But I'm going to send uranium from, I think it's about somewhere around here, I think. And I was just going to send it to my battery and aluminum factory here. And then I was going to drone it over to where we need it here. Or I might just belt it in the end. You know what? We'll see. Yeah. So after that, we got the uranium cell manufacturers. Infused uranium cell manufacturers. And then to top it off, we've got the uranium fuel rod manufacturers, where we're going to be using our radioactive materials. So obviously we're going to need a few things today. Let's go over our little list, shall we? So I have a list on the side here that includes my blueprints, I think. Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't, I'm not sure. But so overall, you're going to need... Wait, why do I have a foundry on here? That can't be right. Sorry, there we go. I had to add a random foundry in the to-do list for some reason. So you will need 8 constructors. We're going to be doing that today. That's going to be for silica. Then you're going to need 18 refineries. That's going to be making our pure Caterium ingot. We're going to need 2 miner Mark IIIs. Yes, we don't have the parts for those automated yet, but we do have a buttload of points. So we're just going to go ahead and buy enough to get ourselves a couple miner Mark IIIs. Only reason we're doing this is so I don't have to tap multiple locations and send them all to one. If you don't want to do this step, just tap a couple locations and send them all together. Then we'll need 2 miner Mark IIs. One will be for I think the Caterium, and the other will be for the quartz. And then I think I'm not 100% sure. My miners, I may have gotten myself mixed up here. But then we have 30 assemblers. That's going to be for the alternate recipe fused quickwire. And we have 40 manufacturers. 20 will be for the uranium cell and 20 will be for the fuel rod. Then you get the drones if we do that part, and then some storage containers, some water extractors, and an industrial flue buffer. It's going to be a whole lot of fun today. So yeah, you're going to need to purchase, we do have radio control units ready to go, but you will need to purchase turbo motors and fused modular frames, as we don't have those automated just yet, but you'll need those for the miner Mark III. But what a handy dandy thing. We have 307 coupons here ready to go, so we can hit up the awesome shop and we can be on our way. Oh, just to touch on it really quick as well, other things you will need later on in this episode, I have them all ready to go. We have a hazmat suit, as well as the gas mask, and then the filters are ready to go in our little storage over there where we were automating a whole bunch of them. So those will be ready to go. I'm just going to go ahead and grab everything, and then I will meet you guys back over at the giant platform over here is where we're going to get started, so we can take care of all our Caterium. And we'll actually be able to get most of that factory fired up and ready to go. The only thing we'll have to wait for, obviously, is the Caterium stuff to get mixed in, and a few other things, but like the electromagnetic control rods, those we can get started. But yeah, so let's gather our materials and we'll head on over. Okay, I'm back. A little bit of time passed because I don't know this has ever happened to you guys, you can leave me a little comment down below if it has. I logged in and literally all of my pipes were empty across the whole map. Everything was empty, which ruined all my power generation and a bunch of other factories that I like my crystal oscillator factory ruined. So I just turned that off because I was like, I don't really want to have to worry about fixing it right now. So the ones I at least fixed for now were my power, which is very important, and this one as well, since this is the project we're currently working on. I'll fart around with some other things offline. I honestly don't know what happened. I've never seen that happen before. I don't know if it's like a glitch that can happen, but yeah, I logged in and everything was empty, which was just a huge pain in my butt. So now that we're here, I've got the copper starting to get backed up again. I'm just waiting for these pipes to fill back up, and then we're going to turn these back on. Not that they're really doing anything at the moment, but we'll at least have it running in our full efficiency. We'll hook this back up here. Okay, there we go. Hopefully things should be working the way they're supposed to now. So now we can do the Caterium. So the Caterium is, good question. We're going to scan for it again really quick. I know it's right here in this area. So is the quartz. They're not going to be hard to, oh, actually, yes. Now that I remember, the Caterium is off the back of my platform here. As you guys can tell, obviously I added in some more concrete area to use. Probably end up using most of this area by the time we're done. I don't know if we'll have to expand too much out this way, but so we're going to go to the Caterium right here. Underneath my platform, I think. There it is. This is a pure Caterium node, so you only need to use a Mark II miner here. So actually, yeah, let me throw that up onto some platforms first. There we go. We got our miner Mark II down there, and we need this to do 423.33 per minute. So we're going to throw in probably 2 power shards, and we're going to go 423.33. Almost messed up my own. And there it is, 176.3875%. So that is going to be all our Caterium needs that we're going to use. Like I mentioned in the previous episode, if you didn't want to use the alternate recipes or some of the alternate recipes here that I'm using, you're going to be using way more Caterium. It is well over 1,000, but we got this one down to under 450. So we're just going to bring that up to this floor. We'll set up our pure ingot refineries, which I have as my blueprints here. We'll go to production, pure ingot refineries. We'll get these loaded up and ready to go. We won't worry about sending this too far around the factory. In fact, it's going to get mixed with, if I recall correctly, a bunch of the stuff from there. So we can kind of set them up going, maybe we'll set them up going this way. Yeah, I guess I need to bring some water over, so I'll probably just pump it up from that little pool over there. So let's get these set up here. We'll go 1. What did I need? 18. So let's do 3 groups of 6. Why not? I take it back. We're doing 2 groups of 9. Why? I'm not really sure, but I'm just going with it. So we need an output total of 211.67. So we're going to go 211.67 divided by 18. I'm not even allowed to do math during the autosave. What am I supposed to do? Oh man, these are becoming some pretty lengthy autosaves. So we're going to go 211.67 divided by 18. So we're going to go copy. We're going to select the pure Caterium ingot. I'm going to paste that onto there. I'm going to copy this and put it on every refinery. Okay, so we'll just take that off. We'll knock that off our to-do list for now. I know I don't have everything all hooked up and everything, but we'll kind of go back and do that maybe in like a montage like I did last time. But the main part is we got the miner and the refiner set up with all their proper numbers. Now, before I do the quartz miners and constructors, I just want to lay out my, I did this in the wrong order. I need the fused quick wire assemblers set up. So I'm going to set that up in between. It's coming from these copper refiners here and this quick wire, or this Caterium ingot, I mean. So we'll kind of just line them up here in the middle. I think that'll work out the best. And then we can kind of maybe send them probably more over in that direction. So for the split up of these groups, I need one group of 18. So I'm going to do 2 groups of 9, and that's going to make me 1500. That's going to go one direction. And then the other one, I'm going to do a set that does 1040, and those are going to go in the other direction. So like I said, I need 2 groups of 9 of these, and I need them to be going that direction. So I'm going to kind of face them like this, and that should feed everything the correct direction that I'm going to need it to. So I'll start from down here. We'll probably have to end up sending some of this down below, but I want to make sure I have enough room. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3. There's our first 9. We'll do our second 9 here. So that's the 18 going to the infused uranium cell. And then, so 1040, each of these can make 90. So I need 12. So I need 2 groups of 6. There you go. So that's going to be all of our assemblers doing the alternate fused quick wire. So we're going to set these ones. See if it'll work. No, hang on. Let me see if I can do this. All right. Okay. So instead of 90 per minute, we're going to go paste there. That's not right. Oops. All right. My math was getting too complicated and I was confusing myself. So I just went with these 12 will now make 1040. The 12 would have actually made 1080. So you just had to take off 40 per minute. So I took off 20 here and 20 there. So these both only make 70 instead of the 90. And that'll be the 1040. Now for the 1500, let's kind of this one figured out a little bit better. We're going to go 1500. What do we got to do here? We're going to go 1500. Oh, so right now this is going to make 1620. So we need to lop off 120. So let's lose 30 here. Yeah, let's do it like this. So go 30, 60, 90, 120. And then the other ones can just be normal. I don't know why my brain struggled with that math so hard, but this will work. This should work no problem. So these two together, 1500. So that'll be just a single Mark V conveyor belt coming out from each of those. This is 1040. So same thing. You can just do Mark V conveyor belt coming out of each of those. And then these are going over to the AI limiters, which are over here somewhere. Right here. Okay, so here's where the quick wire, the 1040 quick wire needs to go. That'll be nice and easy. We can just send one line to each one. And then this one will have to go to the manufacturers that we have not set up yet, but that'll be easy too. We'll do them just in 2 groups of it's 20. So we'll do 2 groups of 10, or we can even do like 4 groups of 5. And that's, oh, this will be nice, easy splits. Okay. Super simple. Let's keep this going. So we've got our fused quick wire assemblers taken off the list. Like I said, I did this a little bit out of order. So now we'll jump on over to the quartz miner and constructors, which is actually going to be super easy. The quartz is just over here somewhere. Just going to scan for it so I know where it is. It's here somewhere. There it is. Also nice and close by. Some iron there if you need it. But our quartz node is right here on the other side of our highway. Ready to go. Wait, where is it? Is it an invisible node? All right, so turns out the quartz I needed was actually in a cave, and it's a really long stretch to get out. So I'm just gonna have to run a really long conveyor belt down. Didn't know this when I was playing in the factory, but way too late to change it now. So I'm pretty sure there's actually normally a bunch of spiders in this cave, but since I have spiders turned off, there's actually nothing in here, which is kind of handy. So I'm just going to go ahead and throw down a quick platform onto this normal quartz node. So we're going to grab our Mark II miner. That's all you need on this bad boy. Can't get that straight to save your life, but that's fine. We'll just load those in there like that. And then this needs 1 power shard to give me 180 per minute. And then, yeah, so I'm just going to run a conveyor belt down all the way out back to our platform. Other cool things I found in here, though, we got a SAM ore node in here. And then there's also a pure quartz node in here as well. I think you can go out this way too. This is probably one of the bigger caves on the map. But yeah, I think you can go out that way too if you need to. Over to where the coal and stuff is. And yeah, like I said, I think there's normally spiders in here. There's nothing in here for me because I have spiders turned off, but it's a cool little cave. Some power slugs in here too. Oh my god, what a process it was getting that quartz over here. I had to do terrible, disgusting things to getting this over here. But it's here, and we can finally put in the constructors. So yeah, like I said, we only need 8, which is nice and easy, because we have our constructor manifold of 4. Everything's going to kind of be going, I believe, that way. So we can kind of set these ones up. We'll set them up like this, kind of like these ones. So we'll go... Where is it? Where's it? There it is. Okay. I think I get myself a little bit way too much room there. We'll put these in here and then I'll just move the belt backwards a little bit. So 1 and that's facing the right way. Yeah. Okay, cool. So that is the constructors for the silica. No underclocking, no overclocking, 8 constructors, 300 silica for 180 quartz. Good to go. There we go. We got our silica constructors all set up, ready to go. Not connected to power yet. The funny thing is that that's how far away the quartz is, that I have the miner powered on and it's sending quartz here right now, but it's still not here yet. It'll probably be here soon, I think. I'm not actually 100% sure, but hopefully it's here fairly soon. But anyways, that is the quartz miner and quartz. Man, it's hard to read my to-do list here. There we go. We'll just look at the rock. So that is quartz and, well, the silica part done. So now I need to head on back to base, grab my things that keep me safe from the radioactive materials, because we're going to be going hunting for our uranium and our sulfur. I mean, we don't need the suit for sulfur, but actually, let me just get a double check on where that is really quick. I think it was up there somewhere and I was just going to belt it over. Or maybe it was over there. Where are you, sulfur? There it is. Yeah, it's going to be, that would be a lengthy belt. I think what I'll probably just do is I could probably drone over. It's 500 sulfur and 500 uranium. Ooh, I don't know if one drone could do that. I'd have to do 2. But yeah, either way, you need to get 500 sulfur per minute over here and 500 uranium per minute. That's going to go into, you know, I'll just throw up the manufacturers for those right now, just so we kind of know where things are going to go. So it's also going to be taking this silica. So we'll probably just aim to have it right here. Sorry, a helicopter flew very, very low over us while I was putting these down. So yeah, we have the 5 rows of 4 manufacturers giving us a total of 20. And this is going to be doing our alternate recipe for the... Where is it? It's here somewhere. This bad boy right here. Alternate infused uranium cell. So again, no underclocking or overclocking in this required. You're just going to copy this and paste it on everybody. I definitely kind of skipped ahead there. That was uranium cell manufacturers. That was like second to last on the to-do list. But hey, it's already banged out and done. We'll just obviously still have to hook the belts up when we go to finish everything up. But yeah, I'll just do a quick little like belt power montage like I did that. Oh, the quartz is finally here. How about that? It took its sweet loving time to get here. So yeah, this is going to get turned into silica. That silica feeds into here. And then these are the electromagnetic control rods. So some of these are going into storage because I'm going to need them for a future project. And then some of them are going into another set of 20 manufacturers to make the uranium fuel rods. And I think those will probably fit right here-ish. And that way, that'll be pretty much our whole platform taken up. I left myself a little bit extra room, but that's totally fine. We're probably going to need it at some point. Okay, this actually wasn't so bad. So the sulfur is actually over here, down in this little section right here. So you're just going to, I'm going to just belt it. It's a little bit of a distance, but we're just going to belt it. It's about the same as the quartz that I had to move. So we're going to send this over the platform. I'll just kind of cut this part out so we're not taking too long on this build. It's easier to follow. If you want to figure out another way, you can probably better use of trains. Would be good to use here. My world has been having issues with trains for some reason, so I'm not going to bother risking it with this build. But yeah, so we're just going to get the sulfur from here. This normal one, you need to clock it to 500 with a minor. This is where one of the minor Mark IIIs is going to come in. You could just combine these two together since they're literally sitting right next to each other, but I figured it'd just be easier, especially since we had the tickets to spend, that I would throw down a minor Mark III on this bad boy. So you're going to be using one of the minor Mark IIIs here on the sulfur and the other minor Mark III on the uranium that I'm going to show you. So yeah, get this over to the platform, and then we'll head back to base. We'll grab our radioactive gear, and then we'll go hunt down that patch of uranium ore that we need. Okay, I got my nuclear protective, radioactive protective gear on, and I am here in the, I think it's called the Red Forest, something like that. So we are here. This is the uranium node that I would like to use because this is a normal node, as most of the one, actually they're all normal on the map, except for maybe one or two that are impures. They're like the extra ones. You really want to pump out nuclear power, but we're gonna be using this one. It's gonna be nice and easy. I'm just gonna throw a little I can actually go near it now. You can see my radiation level going up, but my health is not going down. We can actually hang out right next to it now. Stand right on it. Look at me go. It just blasts through your filters if you stand right on it, but the filters work. I have 650 of them in my inventory. I'm good to go. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and throw down throw a platform on here, throw down the minor Mark III, and then since we're really not that far away from our aluminum factory or our battery factory that is literally can feed a drone right here, I'm just gonna belt it up from there. I'll add it in. We'll just kind of belt it through this forest, and you know, we just won't come up here very often. That should be fine. And then I'll set up a little drone port to take the uranium from here to that platform over there. And I guess that just means we don't come to this factory very often either, because we don't want to have to deal with radiation all the time. But yeah, that's the current game plan for getting the uranium over that we need. I thought about just running a belt over completely, but it would just be a lot of belting. Where'd it go? I lost it. There it is. Okay. So yeah, let's throw down the foundations here. We'll get it belted up and over to that platform, and then I'll show you where I'm just going to throw the drone in so that we're ready to go. All right. So here we are at my original aluminum battery factory. We've got some batteries feeding into a drone port that I've named uranium delivery. And so now I just need to hook this up to power so that it'll start feeding stuff in. And then I actually need to give it a drone. Just like that. Then that should send uranium delivery to the uranium feed. And then come back. I just set up the drone port. That's why you see the uranium feed. I need to actually go connect that into the rest of it. But that is number one reason not to come over here anymore. It's radiated as super radiated now. So yeah, we got our line. I got my line of uranium coming all the way down through there. I got my sulfur all connected over there now. So that is the sulfur and the uranium miners all finished up. The uranium drone is finished up. So now we just need to go build the uranium fuel rod manufacturers, and then we'll do a big ol' belt montage. Oh wait, no, we'll hook up the water for the deuterium, and then, which I just about the same as last time, almost forgot to do. So we get that done, and then we'll do our big ol' belt connecting montage, and then we'll come back to turning everything on, which is going to be pretty exciting, I think. So yeah, it's because that's a short flight from there, from that drone station to here. Shouldn't be too bad on my battery count. It'd probably take like 5 or 6 batteries per round trip. It also can't land yet because it's not hooked up to anything. I actually think this might not even be hooked up to power yet. Actually, most of this isn't hooked up to power. So now we are going to go ahead and throw down the big boys, the uranium fuel rod manufacturers. It's just another set of 20. You know what I'll do? Actually, I'll just get this drone port hooked up to power so it actually is somewhere to drop that stuff off. I have no power over here. Never mind. Okay, so let's do our uranium fuel rod manufacturers. Like I said, need another 20. So we're going to grab our manufacturing blueprint, but we only need the 3 input this time. So let's go to my blueprints, 3 input side, put that on our hotbar just like that. I did edit them. Oh, I forgot to take the little nubs off of the bottom part. Oops. There we go. Now she's fixed. Okay, so we may as well just line them up basically with the other ones here. So we'll just go 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. That should be enough space. Looks like it. Okay, so yeah, I'll just fill in the rest of these. And that's it. Here we go. 20 manufacturers, all with the 3 input. So this one is uranium fuel rod, not an alternate. Because I didn't want to use the beacons. If you didn't know, beacons are going goodbye in the 1.0 release. Not that that's really going to make a difference in this world, but I didn't want to bother learning the whole beacon setup when it's not going to be here for much longer. I think my general idea from, I want to try all the power styles in this playthrough so that when 1.0 comes along, I kind of have a better idea which one I want to do. I know I haven't done it yet, but so far I'm leaning more towards the turbo fuel builds, definitely more so than the nuclear builds. These are quite something, but I mean, this is for 100,000 megawatts, so it'll definitely be I'm assuming you guys probably noticed I misspoke in the last episode. It's not 100,000 gigawatts, it's 100,000 megawatts in total for this factory. So yeah, that should be plenty for going forward, and then that'll definitely last me at least until I feel like trying the turbo fuel method. Isn't that crazy? These at 100% clock speed, these make 0.4 per minute. That's crazy. Yeah, so we have an output of 8 by having these 20. So now before it's starting to get real laggy. Hopefully it's still okay for you guys watching. I just got to do the water setup for these Caterium refineries over here, and then we can do a whole bunch of belt work in a montage, and then we'll be firing this factory up. This is exciting. This is coming together really nicely. Yeah, but like I said, hopefully this is fairly easy to follow along with for anyone who is trying out nuclear for the first time. I know myself, I was pretty overwhelmed and still am overwhelmed trying this for the first time. And a lot of times I got towards like the end game and, I couldn't really find a whole lot of videos that were really that helpful. So hopefully this is useful to you guys. And I hope it all works in the end. That's the other big thing. So we need 423 cubic meters of water per minute. So we need 4 water extractors, and then we'll just downclock them. And bam, we got our little water extractor setup. I mean, it's the same that I do every time. You go some water extractors into a fluid buffer, then you throw a pump, sending it up there, and then we'll be ready to go having the water up there. So each water extractor only needs to do 105.75 cubic meters per minute. That should give us the total of 423 that we're going to need for the Caterium refineries up there. Let's get this pipe moved over, and then we will get this hooked up to power so the water can actually get filled up. And then we'll move into our belt montage. It's actually coming together pretty well. So this is going to come into here. We're probably going to need to use, like you saw, it comes up quite a bit. So you might have to use a couple pumps throughout the system. And then what did I do? Split it into 2. Okay. So we're going to go, let's put it there for now till we actually get our pipe holes, floor hole things, whatever I call them, till we get those put in, get that figured out. Is this a radioactive drone right now? It is. That's funny. I was just curious. So yeah, we'll get the power hooked up to that water, get these pipes all filled up, get this connected up to a splitter, and then we'll start into a power montage. So yeah, it looks like it's about to be nighttime. So first thing I'll worry about then is I'll just do this pipeline junction. Get this split into the two lines. Which I'll just do, doesn't really matter where you do it, as long as it lines up here. And then I'll have the water coming in from, I'll just have it coming in from right here. So we'll grab ourselves from some pipeline floor holes. Get those lined up here. Give myself a little bit of extra space. Why not? We're not super tight for room anymore. Horizontal to vertical, my favorite way of building pipes. That's straight? Yeah, it's straight. Cool. Don't do that. Don't accidentally delete things. So now we just need to connect up the two pipes from these to that splitter right there. Alright, that took me a little bit longer than I expected. There was a little bit more belts to connect than I really thought there was. But I think now I have all, at least the general layout all connected. Like I've got the Caterium into the quick wire, like all the inputs and outputs are done. The only things we have left to do are anything that we had going into a sink previously. We can now unhook that sink and hook it back into the actual line. So let's do that first before we actually hook up everything to power. If you have any questions, feel free to let me know down below if you're trying to follow along with this exactly. So this is the electromagnetic control rods that I'm going to be keeping for a different project. And then these are all the other ones that actually feed the rest of the line. And then I've just got these big long bus lines, manifold lines feeding everything. We've got the sulfur up top there. The uranium is going to kind of come through here somewhere. I have it split into two for the quick wire because we needed 14. No, it's 1500 quick wire over here, so it'll be 750 going to each side here. And then those all get combined together at the very end. From each line feeds one line over here to the actual uranium fuel rods. And those uranium fuel rods can actually be sunk for now until we actually get everything else hooked up. So that is the entire system belted out, ready to go. I think I showed the power getting hooked up as well, which means we're just ready to go ahead and go over here to these lines that are for the AI limiter. We're going to open up the copper sheets to them. So we'll connect those in there. And then we're going to go over to here where it's stators. We'll connect the stators into that line there. We will disconnect this belt here. Put in a lift. And that should feed the encased industrial beams over to where they need to be. What else do we got to hook up here? So these need their quick wire, but those won't actually work until everything's actually fired on over here, so that's okay. So let's go grab, or let's power everything on now, since that's pretty much everything that was going into sinks taken apart. So let's grab power line, and I think if I just connect this over here. Let's see if I can connect these two together, see how much that fires up. Does that fire up everything? Almost everything. Okay. Just doesn't fire up over here. But that's got those all ready. Those are all ready. Okay, so that's good. So that'll at least make sure everything's running. And things will get backed up. And I just got to run power over to that, the side where it makes the quick wire. I was going to say, I thought I hooked all this up already, but maybe I just have to actually connect it into the power line. Yeah, it looks like it. Okay, so we're just going to connect you into that pole right there. That should hook all of you guys on. So finally allow this this drone to land and unload it, start unloading its uranium. Did I not connect these to power? I did not. Okay. Same thing on this side. Okay, now everyone's hooked up to power. Oh, right. The only other one I have to hook up is the copper lines down here. Let's just get rid of these sinks real quick. I was originally going to send them down and around, but I'm not going to do that anymore. There we go. We have copper all hooked up. I believe that is everyone all hooked up now. We'll just kind of give this a little bit of a... keep our eye on this. Make sure everything's going to its right place. The new cat is meowing at me. Oh, we got a few things not set up here. Okay, deuterium ingots are rolling out into the fused quick wire. I see copper rolling in as well. That's good. These are still yellow. Nothing's flowing here yet because we have no quick wire. Correct. So that is, I can take that. The to-do list is technically done. And I will add a little bonus onto the very end where we'll place the 40 nuclear reactors. I think we'll place them out over the water there, just to get them set up for the next episode. Or I guess technically they won't technically be fully hooked up for a little bit, but we'll get them at least set up for a little bonus at the end of the episode because I ended up cutting out a lot of the belt work. I'll give you a little bit of a montage at least. But yeah, this is going to take a little bit to get things ready to go. So I'll come back here with you guys once we actually start to see these manufacturers start to do stuff, because we're going to be waiting a little bit for things to actually happen here. So it took a really long time to get everything backed up, but hey, it's working and it seems to be actually 100% balanced out. The only thing is I had to add a second drone port because it just didn't seem like the one drone was able to bring 500 per minute. think it maxed out at 200. Yeah, around 300. We'll see if this goes up at all, and maybe I can take away a drone station, but as of right now, it didn't seem to really get over 300 per minute, so I had to add a second one. So now we are actually getting enough uranium delivered, and it's actually a little bit too much. So what I did on the very end of all of our radiation shenanigans is there's a sink with an overflow for eventually when these get like too much, like everything will get backed up like that, and then we'll have a little bit extra being sent. So it's just going into the sink, and I'm pretty sure you can sink uranium, so hopefully that should be no problem. But now we can move on to the special bonus part of the episode, where I'm going to lay the, or I'm going to put down the actual nuclear power plants, and because we need somewhere to send all this, all these, what are they called again? Uranium fuel rods going into our sink right now, getting us a whole bunch more points. We need a spot for those to go, and it needs to be somewhere where there is a whole bunch of water. And speaking of a whole bunch of water, there's an ocean right here. So I'm going to end up running a belt just down underneath, just to keep it out of the way. So we'll run a belt all the way down, keeping it kind of hidden and out of the way, and we will send it down near this water plant right here. And because I think we have a pretty decent amount of space to build out past that. Was that me, or was that, yeah, that might have been me doing my train testing with that little weird cutout right there. Yeah, so we're gonna build just a long line to send those uranium fuel rods over here to where there's lots of water, and we will put down a monster platform, because I don't know how big are the nuclear power plants. Let's find out. So for anyone who is wondering how big nuclear power plants are, they are really big. So we're gonna need, this is like just to give myself at least a little bit of room between them for running pipes and everything. We're gonna need 8 wide by 8 long, so it's literally like 4 of my blueprints floors put together. So we're gonna need a heck of a lot of room over here. That would be, we need 40 nuclear power plants. I'm gonna split it up into maybe 8, either 8 groups of 5, probably 8 groups of 5, because otherwise this is going to be, well, we could do 8 groups of 5 or 4 groups of 10, but I think I want to do 8 groups of 5. All right, so it turns out this is about as far out as I can go before I start taking damage. If I could, yeah, I don't want to have to turn on God mode, just keep building, but if you wanted to, there is more space, buildable space in the game. You just have to turn on God mode in advanced game settings so you don't take damage and die. But instead of doing that, I'm just going to build it going down this way. So I'll probably build it, like I say, I was going to do 8 groups of 5. So I think I'll build like a long ways down this way, and then we can kind of put them in rows like this. I think they'll fit going down this way. So welcome to me placing lots of foundations. Here is my first row of 5 nuclear power plants. I was gonna put space in between them. I'm not gonna do that anymore because they take up so much room. I'm gonna leave space obviously like in between the rows so we can have things moving around, but yeah, these are really big and take up a lot of space. So I'm just going to put in enough for 8 more rows going down this way. So yeah, it looks like if I go to my end spot there, I just got to fill in this gap through here. We should have enough space for everything. And then I probably could have left like this line off the end. But probably better to have a little bit extra space for dealing with, like, once we get to dealing with the actual nuclear waste that comes out of here. That's going to be a whole new fun thing to play with. So leave ourselves a little bit extra space. We'll fill in this gap, and then we will put in some nuclear power plants. There we go. If only I had the magic of video editing in the game where I could just skip through and put all these platforms in instead of having to place them. It takes me a really long time now, especially with how like the particle effects go in. When you're building and all those things go flying, I hope they kind of adjusted that for 1.0, or I hope there's at least a way to turn it off. because I find it really slows down my building because it's just kind of like lags my game out a bit. So I think a good enough, I don't think you need like a ton of space in between. I feel like, you know, a few, if I at least give it like a few spaces in between, that'll allow me to run. There'll be 2 belts and 1 pipe going down each lane. So just make sure we have enough room for those. Actually, fun fact, as I'm learning as I'm placing these down, each power plant requires 240 cubic meters of water per minute. So each power plant needs 2 water extractors each if you don't want to do any overclocking. That's 80 water extractors. That's a lot of pipes. So remember how I said you maybe didn't need the extra off the end? Well, me, I take it back. You definitely need it. All right, 8 rows of 5 water, or 8 rows of 5 nuclear reactors. Each one. So that's gonna, remember the pipe numbers I was giving? I think we're actually gonna need more pipes than that. Because each one is gonna need, I mean, I guess I could feed, so 240 would be, okay, so 240 times 5 plants is actually 1200. So you could theoretically run 2 Mark II pipes down and then just split it evenly between the 5, which I'm pretty sure you can do. So I think when we go to build, we'll try doing that. But especially when it comes to nuclear power, I'm going to implement quite a few fluid buffers into like all my pipelines, just to really make sure, because we're going to need, like, if this power fluctuates at all, we're doomed. So I don't want to have to come back and fiddle around with it and mess around and run into big problems going forward. So we're going to give ourselves a little bit of safety net and use the fluid buffers. So that actually kind of worked out, splitting that up into rows of 5 and each one needing 240, because I can just use 2 pipes, 2 600 pipes to fill these up. And that'll at least save on the space going down in between. I don't think it's really going to save much space, because like there's going to be a lot of pipes and everything along back here. So I think it's actually, I think I have just enough room, like especially if I stand here. Yeah, okay, as long as I don't, all the platforms are in safety zone. As long as I don't go too far, I think I could probably just put the water extractors all along here. Maybe. Wait, where is it? It says invalid aim location. Okay, so I cannot build anything out along there. So new plan, water extractors are gonna have to go somewhere else. Maybe we'll build like a big set of water extractors going down along here. That's like my big battery plant over there, just in case my power ever goes out. We have like a big headspace to use a bunch of power for at least a little bit until we get things fixed. Blueprint is in the description, in my Google Drive. If you're looking for just 25 batteries already pre-hooked up together, they're kind of annoying to kind of hook them together in series, but it's pretty simple once you get it figured out. So, like I said, this is all the nuclear power plants that we're going to be using. This is going to give us 100,000 megawatts of power once we get these all hooked up. So that'll be the next episode is going to be a bit of a fun one. So we're going to be making some, what are they called, heat sinks. We need to make 100 heat sinks per minute. We're gonna need, they're used for a few things, but mostly we need those to actually turn all the waste byproduct that's going to come out of these into a fully recyclable product. That's why, like I said, we're not going to be firing these up just yet. It'll be just a couple more episodes before we actually get to using all this power. So make sure you guys come and stay tuned for that. Like I said, next episode is going to be all about making 100 heat sinks per minute. That's probably going to happen, oh, probably right about there in that little corner section right there, as there is bauxite just up there. There's coal just over there. And then the copper, if you guys remember from a few episodes ago, I used a pure copper node over here, and it's like barely being used. I'm going to take an extra 300 something from that, and we're going to send it over there to make the heat sinks. So that's going to be super exciting. Hopefully I'll see you guys back here for that. But thank you again for hanging out with me for just another episode. It might be a little bit shorter than usual, but yeah, we're breaking this nuclear power down into little baby steps so that it's a little bit more manageable. Trying not to get too overwhelmed, and hopefully it's been easy to follow for anyone who needs to. I really appreciate you guys being here. If you enjoyed the video and you're not subscribed yet, please hit the subscribe button. It really supports the channel. If you want to support the channel in any other way, you can consider checking out the Patreon, become a YouTube member on here. I'll have special bonuses set up soon for you guys. But other than that, I'll see you guys in the next episode.